various issues, scandals, and embarrassments that arrive at City Hall doorsteps. We take a look at the case of former procurement officer Allison Jenkins, who has filed against the City of Everett in an action dated June the 13th, 2025. This action arises out of the unlawful conduct of the City of Everett from its unlawful retaliation against plaintiff Allison Jenkins and its failure to pay her owed wages when it terminated her employment, causing her significant lost income. Jenkins seeks damages of lost wages, treble damages, unpaid future wages, and recovery of her attorney's fees, as well as other relief allowed by law. Allison Jenkins is a former employee of defendants and an adult female resident of South Hamilton, Massachusetts. Defendant City of Everett is a duly incorporated municipality within Middlesex County and employer located in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Part 3, the facts. Jenkins began her employment with City of Everett in 2023. Jenkins worked as Chief Procurement Officer in Everett, prior to which she held the same or substantially similar roles in the towns of Reading and Hamilton, Massachusetts. In her roles, Jenkins handled approving of the purchase orders that she received from administrative personnel. During her time as Chief Procurement Officer, Jenkins reportedly informed employees in Everett, some of whom were supervisors of departments, that they were not complying with procurement laws. At some point, certain employees reported Jenkins was harassing them because of her concerns that they were not complying with the procurement laws. Human Resources investigated the allegations of harassment, interviewed Jenkins, and upon information and belief of other employees, did not substantiate the allegation of harassment. Several months later, without additional allegations of harassment raised, Everett hired an outside law firm to investigate Jenkins, again for the same allegations. The investigator interviewed Jenkins primarily about her knowledge of procurement law. Sometime in around March 2025, Jenkins received a medical diagnosis that required remote work. On March 23, 2025, Jenkins requested an accommodation to work remotely. She worked full-time, 4 days per week at that time. On April the 4th, 2025, Human Resources approved 2 of 4 days per week to work remotely. On April 28th, Jenkins was hospitalized, where she remained until April 30th. And then on May 6th, 2025, Jenkins informed her manager and chief financial officer that she needed serious medical treatment. That same day, Jenkins enrolled in short-term disability. On May 9th, 2025, Jenkins was placed on administrative leave. Note footnote number 1. On May 15th, 2025, Jenkins was informed that she was being terminated from her position by Everett. Jenkins was officially terminated from her position at Everett as of May 29th, 2025. Everett did not remit Jenkins' final paycheck on her last date of employment and still has not remitted her final paycheck. Jenkins had accrued 228.32 hours of vacation time as her date of termination. The unpaid vacation time amounted to $14,643.07 of owed wages. Jenkins' final paycheck from Everett did not include the 93.5 hours of comp time. The unpaid comp time amounted to $8,994.79 of owed wages. Jenkins' final paycheck from Everett did not include payment for her reimbursable expenses since April of 2025. The unpaid reimbursable expenses amounted to $1,042. Jenkins' final paycheck did not include payments for her last week of work. This amounted to 35 hours of work. The unpaid 35 hours amounted to $2,244.69 of unpaid wages. All total, Jenkins' final paycheck include $26,924.55 of unpaid earned wages and deductions from wages, parentheses, unpaid business expenses, close parenthesis, Back to footnote number 1, Jenkins is filing a claim of disability discrimination and failure to accommodate against the defendant with the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination, and will seek to amend this complaint to add the claim once she has the authority under MGL Chapter 151B, Section 9, to remove the claim after 90 days from the date of filing. Under Mass General Law 149, Section 148, vacation payments and comp time due to an employee constitute wages. The failure to pay earned wages, including accrued vacation time and comp time, and failure to reimburse deductions of wages upon termination of employment violates the Massachusetts Wage Act of Mass General Law, Chapter 149, Section 148. Administrative notice. On June 6, 2025, plaintiff filed her complaint of non-payment of wages with the Office of the Attorney General under Mass General Law, Chapter 149, Section 150. In count 1, underpayment of wages, Jenkins repeat and reincorporates the allegations stated in paragraph 1 through 34, and Jenkins was employed by the City of Everett. Jenkins earned wages during her final week of employment, and Jenkins accrued and did not use vacation time during her employment. Jenkins earned and did not use comp time during her employment, nor Jenkins spent her wages on business expenses during her employment, which were not reimbursed by City of Everett before she was terminated. The City of Everett failed to pay the wages to reimburse the business expenses described above Jenkins' last date of employment. The City of Everett actions violate Mass General Law, Chapter 149, Section 148, causing damages, and this claim is brought pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 149, Section 150. For count 2, Jenkins repeats and re-alleges the allegations stated in paragraphs 1 through 42. Jenkins was employed by City of Everett. Jenkins reported a concern about a violation of law to a supervisor of the city. Jenkins reported the concern reasonably and in good faith. The City of Everett terminated Jenkins' employment because of her reporting this concern, and the City of Everett's actions violate Mass General Law, Chapter 149, Section 185, causing damages. Wherefore, the plaintiff prays this court order the defendants to pay the plaintiff compensatory damages for unpaid wages, including the value of lost vacation time, lost wages, lost benefits, reputational harm, emotional distress, and other losses to be proven at trial. Order the defendants to pay treble damages and plaintiff's attorney fees and the costs allowed by law, and number 3, any further relief as is just and necessary. And this was filed by the attorneys for Allison Jenkins, which are Joseph L. Schuman, law offices of Joseph L. Schuman in Waltham, Massachusetts.